Guys, and welcome to the month of Aquarius. So Aquarian energy is the 11th energy, so this is going to be very important what kind of goals we set this month. You can see different segments of your life. What is your journey? What is happening with your family? Where is your prosperity lying? What you should be doing to increase your chances of looking good, and what is, like, for example, residing in your love and marriage house. And if you guys want your private reading, and if you waited for a special with me, this is the time. So basically what's happening right now, it is upgraded. So the regular readings, which usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to turn around in a week. So you're going to get a price of a regular, you're going to get a rush reading. If you order a rush reading to get it within or under a week, you're going to get it within 3 days. And if you order an urgent reading, which is usually 3 days delivery, you're going to get it within 24 hours. So just book a regular reading or rush reading or urgent reading, and that's going to be upgraded. So guys, you can check the deals on my website, and let's not forget my Cat Tarot X-Spread is on special still for $50, so you can look at that. So in any case, visit www.cattarot.ca and look up the video. So without much further ado, let's jump into your monthly reading. Hi Leo, and welcome to your January-February reading forecast. Well, as you notice, it was a long shuffle, and it is a very interesting spread. Over here, I actually spent quite a bit of time contemplating from which angle to approach this. So usually I just take one of these cards, and the 4 came out, and I usually take only one here. The 2 came out. There is a distinctive theme in this reading, but let's pay attention to what is the center of your reading. You have the Devil. So okay, let's start. You have movement and sacred pool and psychic, but we are going to get to that part of the reading later. Then you have as underlying energy Ace of Cups and the Emperor. This means stability. This means understanding the nature of relationship. This understanding maybe starting afresh. This may be understanding loving, self-loving. This means getting a grasp on love, understanding what love is. And I know it sounds really ridiculous. Many of us really grow up without really good knowledge about that, right? Because we feel that longing is love, and that's not the case. That is this, because it is like a very clear theme over here, because you're getting this Emperor here, which basically talks about stability, basically talks about establishing workable things. It's clarified with anger. It's clarified with constancy and desire. So really kind of like weird situation. Let's see where this takes us, and let's see what is watching, because generally when I see this, I really see karma stepping in this vibration spread. And I always look at these vibrations. Here in Osho Zen, you have totality, standing in a movement. You guys are a sun child, and there is like this sun over here, but nobody here is really paying attention to this sun, because we have these 3 dancers here. Let me just try to zoom it in. I generally defocus so it doesn't kind of create problems. You see here how they're like these 3 trapeze dancers, and all of them are simply doing their own thing. The key over here, I guess, is to recognize that none of them can really think about, hey, I had a great day with a boyfriend, or I love this guy. Guess what they're thinking about? They're like totally in the moment. That's why it's called totality, right? So it is kind of like distinctly 2 different messages that I'm getting here. This, as the energy that's in the air in vibration, is basically telling me that you will really maybe develop this new skill, or really focus on doing this that way, taking one step through life at a time and giving each step your complete attention and energy. And this is going to bring a really new vitality. Look at these colors. It's a burst of energy getting through you, right? Because every moment in life, it's possibility to be total, right? So whatever we are doing, we can actually really be absorbed like really properly in it. This is like that Zen principle that they're talking about, that literally they can even feel gaps in their breathing. They can notice gaps between the words. In fact, that's simply that gateway into this enlightenment, into being the better you, into kind of understanding this whole game of spirituality, like if you really wish, right? So this is asking you to change your old habits, right? After all, they're just an old habit, right? Habits die hard, but they certainly die, right? So this is basically just talk about persistence. And then you had 4 instead of 1 card over here. And that is like, again, telling me a really huge story. And interesting enough, you have openness and an open book. Excuse me. Open book. Look at this distinct theme over here, looking your pathway, coming into this light. Same thing here, openness. There is like no more bird cage over here, but I'm going to read to you exactly from this book, because I'm getting this simply to see your vibrations. And look at this, mythical challenging, it says changling, and inspired juggler. So let's start there. Let's see what is this all about, because this, I have to tell you, is extremely complex. So let's start with an open book. It says, you regard life as an ever-revolving door of opportunities and adventure, taking on whatever is sent your way. You adapt and modify to the vibrations with ease and acceptance. When change arrives, you embrace it and look forward to the new learning and transformation that comes with it. You interact, learn, engage, and change. Kudos to you. Openness. The more expansive you are in your world, the more comfortable you feel. Open new windows and doors, and keep opening them until you feel the vibration that sinks to you. Don't let others close the walls around you because it suits them. This is your journey. So unlock and unbolt everything that makes you feel trapped, and begin to accept the open expanse. Symmetrical changeling. Being different is not a bad thing. So, stop trying to fit into the rules set out by others. Stop trying to fit into the pigeonholes that you feel society has defined for you. You are and will transform like larva of a moth into a liberated butterfly. Accept this new and exciting vibration as you transform and morph into the changeling. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing this. You have always been. An inspired juggler, and that one is a curiosity to me. It's the only one I was not really able. It says you were born to organize. You're the multitasking extraordinaire that others wish they could be. You have an astonishing ability to be able to keep all the balls in the air at once. Here you go. The vibration of control, whilst in chaos, is your key to success. It is balance between the confusion and disorder. Be amazed and don't underestimate what you can truly achieve. So guys, in this period, you're going to be bestowed with psychic powers. I have to tell you, this is a gift and this is also a curse. You cannot unsee things anymore, and that's why you see this eye. You can see through walls, you can see through situations, and this is like simply the stage where you're getting when you're able to open up, when you're able to go deep, when you're able to go dark. Not many people can do that, but you also have to be in that totality, as you are being told over there. This totality is definitely asking that you really take every moment with excitement, that you really don't take things too seriously. Almost like it feels like that there's like some kind of like new start here that is projecting. This also could be shifting, that maybe something old is being completed and you're simply kind of being reborn, Leo. And I think this has a lot to do with these eclipses. Remember the last one, which was in your sign, the Lion's Gate opening, and right now we have lunar eclipse in the sign of a Leo. This is very connected to you, and it is like really calling upon your energy. This energy that is calling for you to is like getting stabilized. And I think some of you may be outwardly angry, but some of you may be depressed, because depression is like sort of like the other side of that coin, right? And it is like that karma that is stepping in. You're literally being called to stabilize. And look at the cards that you have. You have the Fool. I'll bring it to you. Oops, what happened here? You have the Fool. You have Knave of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Knave of Wands reversed, the Devil in the center position, so everything is kind of going there. Then you have Ten of Cups, Knave of Swords, this is the third one, 1 2 3. Then we have Six of Swords reversed, and then we have Two of Pentacles. And the underlying energy is like One of Cups. So it's kind of like really interesting to note that you have 1 and 10. Well, you know, Rome was not built in a day. And this is like what it's telling me. Something, there is like urge for something to happen really quickly, really in a hurry. Like you feel this like maybe well of emotion, well of new kind of like found, let's say, zest. Maybe it's a new partner, guys, and something might actually happen rather really quickly, but not before you do this groundwork. And this groundwork is like about dealing with issues in your life, whether this is your own anger or you're dealing with somebody's anger. It's certainly currently karma is looking at you, how you're going to position and establish yourself about that. You kind of like already have some kind of perceptions and some kind of feelings about it, because otherwise this psychic card probably wouldn't really jump out. Kind of like understanding that, you know, you can literally close your eyes and you can connect. You can connect with the other people. You can connect with animals. You can connect with plants, right? So something is going to become very apparent to you. And at times you will be actually amazed that you will know what's going to happen before it happens, right? And you will have that sense of, I would say, knowing something is coming there. You know, like sometimes I look at things and like I literally see words, almost like for me, like that's the clairvoyance, I guess, right? Like I hear, I'm also auditory as well. I see movies, sometimes it comes to me in form of movies, and I hear a song, I see a scene of a movie, and then, oh my God, how's this relating? What was the basically moral of that movie? And sometimes I see words, or sometimes I just forget what I was about to do, and I end up in my library, and then I'm asking myself, what the heck am I doing here? What did I want to do that here? And then I look at the book, and the title just comes to me. Oh, yes, that's what I have to deal with, right? So your perception powers will definitely heightened, and so embrace this process. This is kind of like scary, but this is also very cool, and it is like a two-edged sword, just like Queen of Swords. You have three swords over here. There are lots of mental abilities, and then you have also an air over here. So there's lots of thought that you're placing into that, and certainly you feel out of balance, completely out of balance. The Devil card, dead right on, codependency. There is issue, there's craving, there's a third party in this whole situation. There are a whole bunch of people, possibly three parties, acting as kids. Like, there is somebody who is spying, there is somebody who is spiteful, there's somebody who wants to push it forward on their own terms, with their own knowledge or lack of it, right? There is like some completely new turn that might be happening. That's something that is already in the process. Something that maybe have been resolved previously, but something that is resurfacing all over again for some reason. There is like this connection to this movement, which is 28, which is a 10, which we have a repeat of it here. Interestingly enough, guys, I again have two sixes here, and two sixes are definitely soulmate. It's a karmic, basically soulmate situation over here. And it's sort of like that kind of like time. It's like that intersection of life that you have reached. And now you can choose where to go. So you really need to ask yourself really, 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 really closely, where do you want to go? And how do you want to go? Because if you really look at all these cards, they're pretty much telling you the same thing. Like they're all of them having this sun and rebirth motive and being lighter. The Fool in particular is talking about what happened with that positivity, Leo, where you were on top of the world, right? Chasing butterflies. Nothing can happen to you. You literally can just dream nice dreams. When was the last time you felt like that? Because I think you are really trying to get control back of your life. Like having the Emperor like in this position is extremely strong thing. It's kind of like being the master of your domain, and not in a Seinfeld way. I don't talk about masturbation over here. I simply talk about, hey guys, you're stabilizing yourself. You're kind of figuring out who is who in your life. And I guess you're observing with how people react toward you. If anger comes your way, you will kind of take a note of that. This also tells me that maybe you're like simply enchanted with someone who is angry. Maybe you're attracted with anger, and maybe this is the basically challenge of the month, that you really need to deal with that, because the Devil also talks about a whole bunch of stuff we really need to deal with. Codependency is basically, in this particular case, this kitty is trying to be a doggy, and this kitty is trying to be a rabbit. Both of them are completely acting out of their own element and sort of like playing a role. Think like codependency is a state where you're an actor, where you're playing a role, except you don't know why you're playing it. You don't have to play it. But you're playing it because possibly you think that people will not like you if you don't do that. Maybe the addictions are different. Maybe it could be alcohol. Each time we're trying to numb ourselves because you are trying to run away from the situation or walk away from the situation and try to get in a better place. Now maybe you're coming back because you need a second helping of a bad situation, or you're coming back to find the truth. But this truth in this particular card, in Knave of Swords, is not the kindest truth. This person definitely wants to know what the heck is going on, and he's not going to stop until he hears it. He'll walk over other people just to find it out. But truth he'll hear. But somebody doesn't want to tell you the truth. Or maybe even you don't want to hear it, because there is like this feeling of the fool. And I have this love-hate relationship with this card. It's supposed to be a really good card, but in my opinion, it's fool is full. Like, we do have to know our limitations, and we can expand those limitations to be lesser and lesser and lesser. But the Fool is always talking about not having any fear, not having any feeling of limitation. So this is sort of like that zone card, and I like it from that standpoint. I dislike it when people who are still not there are actually really reacting as if they are, and that actually ends up being foolish. So this is saying to you to set dreams and dream your dream. Have a dream, but have a realistic dream, and have a realistic dream with people who are real, who are there for you, because there is like something that is going on. Either you guys have children that are extremely problematic and affecting you, or excuse me, or you're acting childish, or this situation is like sort of like foolish and childish and kind of like collapsing. The Six of Swords is kind of like one of my favorite cards. I absolutely love the fact that swords are basically stabbed into this. Look how important they are, that they have to be carried like this. They actually almost look like a barrier, and it is obviously going through this like really troubled water. There is like this bridge that is opening. You still don't know if it's going to be any better at this bridge, because this is talking about you, and this is talking about your inner child. So it's saying that sometimes the surface reasons are not necessarily the surface reasons. Sometimes the reasons go deeper, or they're hidden, or we really didn't manifest them. And it takes effort to get there. It's not as easy. If you look at this kitty, like these are these big eyes. I have to show you, because I think this deck also did amazing job with showing this. Look at these big eyes, and look at this comfort and knowing that this is going to be the best in the situation, and the help of people who will be there. You just have to take this trip. But in your case, it is reversed. So Leo, does it mean, and why you're coming back? You know the situation was not good for you. So you were all set out, you dressed up, you're going, and then you're coming back. You're coming back to a bad situation. You're trying to make it work. Where is this going? As far as relationships, you have Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is very shrewd. In this deck, very much unlike in any other deck. The sword is laid down and covered with butterflies. You have a butterfly here as well. You have a moth here as well. The theme of this is like to raise above, the freedom of lightness, of openness, of feeling free, like spreading your wings. She been through a whole bunch of issues, and this simply could be a victory over this horrible codependency stage. It simply could be feeling comfort in who you are. She doesn't need anybody, and she can survive with everybody, because she respects absolutely everybody, but she's going to minimize and remove everybody who doesn't show respect or honor toward her. Very, very smart individual. So you are either going to have somebody who will assist you in that respect, or you will actually step in that kind of like shoes and minimize things in your life. Just like think of this relationship spring cleaning. You treat me well, you stay. You don't treat me well, you're off the list. Delete, 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 everywhere. Looks like you're really focused on where you want to be, but you maybe want to have it too fast, because going from 1 to 10, it's like stepping on a gas and expecting that you're going to end up on the other side of the globe immediately. this in fact wouldn't be even healthy too much, because there are issues that need to be resolved in this particular situation, and those issues are connected to travel. This is your travel segment over here, and it's also a segment to helpful people. Right now everything seems to be up in the air. Everything goes up, everything goes down. There's duality. Right now, given that you're in this dark stage, it's very hard for you to discern who is here to help you, who is there to hurt you. This usually card also comes up when there is somebody juggling two people. So I don't know, it looks to me it was like lots of back and forth, and the situation really needs repair. Like, you are incurable, guys. You're like this perpetual lover, but you're getting into the stage saying, well, you know what, I need to stabilize. Like, these two cards are definitely talking about stabilization. You might have, like, you have like literally air signs, fire signs, and earth signs, kind of like really prominent over here. But ultimately the water signs here, not so much prominent, but the water signs or water, that energy is really affecting you this month. You have to think back, guys, to August, like 3 weeks before August 22nd, when we had this eclipse. What was happening at that time? Because there is like a wrapping up energy, and that's why I see you coming back to that for some reason. There are issues that you haven't resolved, that issues are still brewing and eating things. And this is like very similar to that Emperor kind of card, right? Kind of like finally balance things out. Look at how many balls in the air she has. Here he has 2. And you're saying, you want to do this to me? Watch me. I can do better. And this is also telling me this Zen moment, this totality. Like, literally, for doing this, you cannot do anything else. You have to fulfill yourself from the inside. So I think it's going to be lots of engagement of your own soul in this time period. It's going to be something that is going to start moving forward in a really good way. I see love coming your way, but not before you resolve some issues. It looks like it's coming back for some reason, and you really want it. This is the only thing that kind of worries me, because I have to say to you that this is also a possibility that you want to be with somebody who is juggling 2 people. Do not stay in this situation, because I think this is karmic, let's say, trigger that is asking of you, did you learn this lesson? If you continue with this, you're going to say, no karma, just please put me back to the grade 1. Because we get tested throughout life. Are you ready? Are you ready to reemerge? Are you ready to kind of go? Because if you haven't learned that lesson, you have to learn it, and you have to be there until you learn it. Codependency is always like, it's a horrible lesson that we need to learn, and that lesson is self-respect. That lesson is like self-love. This lesson is knowing who we are, feeling who we are, not being afraid of other circumstances, other people, other things coming our way. It is kind of like something that is possibly the biggest gift we can give to ourselves, but it is not easy. So let me clarify that Devil card, because I'm really intrigued why this sits in the middle, because it starts with this like great lightness of being, and then a whole bunch of, let's say, games happening here, like going 1 step forward, 3 back, and then maybe observing from the side. As I say, I do actually see extra person involved over here, and nobody is here really happy. You do want this happiness first off, and I want it for you. You in fact are projected for something better, because this kind of like would be this ultimate home, happiness, hugging, reconciling with somebody, right? But this is saying you need to get rid of things that are not working out. So coming back to certain issues and clearing them out for yourself is not a bad idea. Maybe you might give 1 more chance to someone, and if they betray you, this is going to be it. You know, this is like a line in sand. it's setting a line in sand and kind of getting yourself engaged with different things, stabilizing yourself in your life, where you're going. One jumped out. Melody. Some of you guys are very depressed. Whenever I see this card, I know it's kind of really weird, and how the card looks like, honestly, it just looks like he has his little kind of bowels right out there, but I think that's probably the bowel for warming. But whenever I see this card, I see depression, and depression and anger are the same. What is that you are not getting? What is that you feel is the need that is not fulfilled? You really have to ask yourself, because this is the core of this, the Teufel, the devil card. This is the core of where this disturbance is. This is the door that you turn into instead of like a good door, and this is what is preventing you of going toward where you're supposed to be going, because like you are literally on this new trajectory, and you have the movement here as well, and then also you have Sacred Pool, which is 11, and that is a karmic card. So I think you guys are maybe not going to be able to get those messages from the outside, but you'll be getting them from the inside. And honestly, I can't wait to see, guys, your psychic messages. You owe me, Leo, you owe me. This card I have never seen coming out. Literally, I want to know what messages are coming, and I want to see likes, I want to see shares, and I definitely want to hear from you, because this is biggie that is happening. And I also want to see this juggler over here. What is this juggling? Or like, because you have this twice, I'm going to get both of them. One is inspired, so I'm not so worried about this one. One is like you you're getting this grasp on life, you enjoying life, you're saying, oh my gosh, I have suppressed myself, I was going through these wrong doors and through kind of like this dead ends, and being angry and longful and desiring, and now I'm minimizing myself, back to the basics, and I know who's good, I know who is bad, and then getting yourself really, really busy. So let's see this little kitty with the fish and the mouse. Interestingly, this was a card of a day today, I believe. Look at this. Yes, you're putting an end to that. This also could be a Scorpio as well, guys. You have also Aries prominently in your chart, and so you have Capricorn and air signs really, really prominently. And I don't know if these are people who are in your life who can help you, assist you, or you're dealing with them. It really doesn't matter that this is happening, but if you have that particular sign, then this is this particular situation that you have to really deal with them versus the general reading. So let me see, to conclude this reading, what is this movement and what is the Sacred Pool? So let's start with movement, because it's kind of interesting. This is 10 and this is 11, so it's definitely moving. Keep in mind that you have to be open, you have to communicate, you literally have to say what you want. Devil card is the codependency card, which is making us not really willing to really say what we really need, out of fear that we might lose something or somebody, right? And literally is playing kind of like poker with sweaty palms. Everybody knows you're cheating, so it's not going to be a good thing. And the only remedy is like literally to speak up about that, to change yourself, to engage yourself, to love yourself. And it looks like you're coming back, at least in your head, doing that. And if somebody tries to kind of like really pull the fast one on you, you're going to put an end to that really, really quickly. So let's see what it says, because both cards are upright. It says, you're in the time of positive forward motion. I absolutely see that. To kind of like get through that stage is stuffy. It says this is the time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. You are in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form, and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. This is where the doors are shut. Lovely. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts, and you know the actions you need to take. That would be your psychic card again, I guess. Take. This isn't the time for fear. Let it go and move forward. And let's see Sacred Pool. It's one of my favorite cards. It says the world is a reflection of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. Embody the love you wish to see in the world. When you look into the mirror, do you like what you see? The Sacred Pool card asks that you focus on self-love and self-esteem. We are all works in progress, so detached self-examination made with rigorous honesty is called for now. Reflect by the Sacred Pool and be at peace with yourself. Can you see how far you have come and how magical your life is? Do you notice that spark of the divine shining through your eyes? When you're conscious that you are the embodiment of spirit, it becomes easier to respect yourself and act in good conscience. Then you'll reap the greatest rewards. Your unique service to the world is not only needed, but celebrated. See the love within you, and know that if you cast it upon the waters, it will return to you tenfold. Be at peace, for you are beautiful and loved. Act with surety and confidence, and success shall be yours, whatever the inquiry you may have. So guys, Psychic and this, they are both karma cards. They're 47. This is taking you to a different dimension. This is also taking you to a different dimension. This is also taking you to a different dimension. And so is this. You guys had enough. You guys have been taken advantage of. You had the issues of your own. And you are just like fed up with everything. You are minimizing and simplifying your life. You're not going to be taking any crap from anybody. There is like this movement forward. As I told you, the doors were previously closed. These doors are open. You're like strong and powerful right now. You can take on as many tasks as possible, but you're not going to be taking crap from anybody else. You guys are changing. You guys are setting yourself free. You guys are finally seeing this light. What does that mean, seeing the light? No, you're not dying. You're actually rebirthing, if you wish. You are really understanding love. You're really understanding how it's supposed to feel, because it looks like you were really reacting in how other people want you to be. It's just like, you know, sometimes I feel really bad for celebrities because they're like almost like actors. They are playing the role that we want them to play. And that's why they have drugs, issues, alcohol, relationships falling apart. So we can be really grateful that we are not exposed in that situation, that we still have the right to call life our own. You need to get rid of this last issues that looks like you're going to really roll up your sleeves and face them. You are going to use this period to stabilize, to understand yourself, and to really open up. Whatever it is for you, God, spirit, meditation, yoga, church, unity, that's going to be your avenue. But you know what? You're going to be seeking yourself this time around. And you're going to be facing who you really are and what you really need to face. And you'll be getting lots of messages. So going to bed and asking for these messages to come is probably a wise idea. Just make sure you have a really notepad next to your bed to write them down, because sometimes they come and go and you don't remember them in the morning, but they do come. So my dear Leo, this was really intense. I feel completely drained right now. So hopefully this really works. And I want messages from you. I want the special messages because you know what? I'm really intrigued. This is like really interesting reading. And to get yours, contact me via my website for a private reading, www.keter.ca. Until the next time, you do know that I love you. All the best.